We're setting out on an expedition. It will be a grand adventure. There will be fantastic rewards ahead for you. Lots of excitement. You're going to come back with wonderful stories to share, and you will grow personally in ways you can't even imagine. Sound good? You in so far? Well, I want you to know going in what's happened to those who've been on this journey before. First off, you need to know that 1/3 of them died early on. Before the halfway mark, half were gone. Some made it all the way, but 2/3 perished. Still want to go? Not really, huh? Yet, we're all on this journey. This is the journey of entrepreneurship. Those statistics that I just cited with you align with the statistics of the small business survival rate. 1/3 don't make it to 2 years in business. Before 5 years, half are gone. Only 1/3 make it to 10 years. We're all survivors. Just the very fact that you are here watching this says to me you're a survivor and you are looking for good strategic information to ensure that you make it on this journey of entrepreneurship. Hi, my name is Dr. Sabrina Starling. I'm the business psychologist at Tap the Potential. At Tap the Potential, we know how hard you work in your business. We know the challenges you're facing on this entrepreneurial journey. We know you want to be freed from the constant demands of your business. And in order to do that, you need a business that supports your life vision. The problem is, though, that you have a cash-sucking business that's taken over your life. We believe work supports life, not the other way around. And we understand that you're paying a team and you're still having to do it all. It shouldn't be this hard. There should be more accountability. And that is why, through our proprietary coaching system, we've helped thousands of entrepreneurs just like yourself have more time for what matters most to you and grow profit by 300 to 800%. There's no doubt about it. This entrepreneurial journey that we're on is challenging and it's grueling. That is why it is critical that we entrepreneurs stay in peak condition, not just physical condition. That's really important too, that we stay healthy, but also mental condition, because the reality is 90% of our success as an entrepreneur comes down to our mindset and our resiliency. As the business psychologist, I am personally very focused on supporting entrepreneurs like you in the resiliency that you need to be successful in your entrepreneurial journey. And briefly, I want to share a little story with you about my past so you understand why this is so important to me. I didn't grow up in an entrepreneurial family, but I grew up in a family scarred by the legacy of entrepreneurship. 5-year-old me watches my dad scarf down his food and rush out the door, meal after meal. My mother explains to me that my father never sat down and enjoyed a meal as a family. In fact, he usually ate out of the concession stand because my grandfather and grandmother owned drive-in movie theaters, and the entire family worked from sunup to well past sundown running those drive-in movie theaters, including my young father, who ate most of his meals out of the concession stand. This is the traditional dominant discourse about entrepreneurship. Dominant discourse means the main storyline that we all seem to be buying into, that to be successful as an entrepreneur, we need to grind it out. We need to work hard. We need to put in those long hours. There's going to be hard times for our family and quality time that we miss out on. And by golly, that's just the way it is when you're a successful entrepreneur. I know differently. I have lived a different story in my own entrepreneurial journey, and over the last 15 years, I have guided our clients at Tap the Potential to experience a very different story of entrepreneurship, a story of entrepreneurship where work supports life, not the other way around. And that's what I want to invite you into today. As the business psychologist, I have been studying entrepreneurial burnout, and I have recognized that coming into the coronavirus event, many of us are coming in a state of entrepreneurial burnout. What is entrepreneurial burnout? It is that feeling that we get after working extended hours in our businesses, not taking time off, working through the weekends, where we feel like I don't enjoy my business anymore. I don't want to be around people. I want to just hole up and isolate. I want to come home from work. I don't want to talk to my family members. We get grouchy with our family members. We get grouchy with our team. We may fly off the handle at unexpected times. All of these are symptoms of entrepreneurial burnout. Some of you listening to this may have more of those symptoms than others, or you may have just the beginnings of that. The beginnings of it look like increasing cynicism about the world and about the business environment, about your team members, your ability to hire the A players that you need, your ability to run the team. So you start doubting even your own ability to run the business effectively in situations. When we suffer from entrepreneurial burnout, we are at heightened risk for all kinds of chronic health conditions, diabetes, heart conditions, dementia, cancer, you name it, all the things we don't want. And we're putting ourselves at risk for that. And so the traditional story about entrepreneurship, where we're believing that we need to grind it out, actually puts us at risk. And here's the challenge. We now have coronavirus and the impact and fallout of coronavirus in our businesses coming on top of an experience of being burnt out. So we are having to be resilient at a time where our resources, our internal resources, are already stretched very thin. So I want to share with you something that I have noticed as I've studied entrepreneurial burnout. And I've gotten to study entrepreneurial burnout with our clients at Tap the Potential who have gone through at least a year in our Better Business, Better Life program. And I've also gotten to study entrepreneurial burnout in a sampling of entrepreneurs who have not gone through our program. And what's very interesting to me is to notice that symptoms of entrepreneurial burnout seem to rise in conjunction with the gaps that exist in our business. So our clients in the Better Business, Better Life program have many fewer symptoms of entrepreneurial burnout, and they also have a lot fewer gaps in their business. They have businesses that are better positioned to be sustainable, to be profitable. They're coming into the coronavirus event in a good cash position, so their stress is already lowered because they recognize they can sustain the business for a longer period of time through this event. And what we also see going on is people who are entrepreneurs who don't have systems in place and don't have good team in place. They have more gaps in the business. There are more symptoms of entrepreneurial burnout. So I want to invite you at this time to take an assessment that I've created that allows you to assess your symptoms of entrepreneurial burnout and the gaps that exist in your business to see where you are. This is going to provide you with two very important pieces of information that you need right now to make sure that you come through coronavirus healthy and strong with a thriving business. So you will identify how at risk you are for entrepreneurial burnout, and you will have some tools to cope with those symptoms of entrepreneurial burnout, in addition to a part of the assessment that will point you to the gaps in the business that it's time to get to work on. And there is no better time than the present to work on filling in those gaps in your business. Because here's the deal. Every time you take your laptop on vacation because, you're just going to push out payroll, not a big deal, or you're just going to do a little work, and wouldn't it be fun to sit on the beach and do some work? That is you filling in a gap in your business. So you're plugging a gap. When a team member calls in sick and you're showing up and you're doing that team member's work, you're filling another gap. And then something else goes wrong in the business. You have a client who's frustrated or they're complaining about something that didn't go right. You're in there now, you're filling another gap. And I know you can't see my feet up here, but I'm running out of body parts here to fill the gap. Sooner or later, running our businesses in this way is like playing an ugly game of Twister, and we entrepreneurs will not win that game. So we need to be paying attention to our own self-care, managing our level of burnout, and identifying the gaps that exist in our business so we can get to work on those. I want to extend to you the opportunity to take our entrepreneurial burnout assessment at Tap the Potential so you can get a handle on your level of burnout and the gaps that it's time to start addressing in your business. That assessment is available to you at no charge at tapthepotential.com/assessment. After you take that assessment, you will also be given the opportunity to debrief your results with one of our lead strategists at Tap the Potential. That will give you the opportunity to talk through your symptoms of entrepreneurial burnout and to start to develop a plan for closing those gaps in your business that are putting you at risk. Isn't it about time? Take your life back.